What's up, WWE Champions? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is your updated look at Hollywood Hogan with his new Christmas move, Hulkamania Revisited. So here is how we are going to run the Hulkster. On the bottom, we're going to put the low blow so that we deal 53,907 damage and choose 5 gems to make red. Note the pin bar will not move. Then the running leg drop, deal 57,800 damage and choose 6 gems to make purple. And then the new update to the finger poke of doom, perhaps my favorite move in the game. Deal 87,034 damage, swap a 3x3 random area into wildcard gems, which is what it did before, but now it has a hardcore addition. If the opponent's clash is Technician, then you deal 21,759 damage and swap a 5x4 random area into black gems. So in order to make the most out of those black gems, notice this is the streaming account. This is not mine. This is the one that has everything unlocked. I might show you on mine after this. You're going to put Tori, because black gems do 40% more damage, and you start with your black moves loaded times 2. Then you're going to put in Carmelo for purple moves start with 4 and black moves start with 4. So you'll be able then to get the red gems, which is going to trigger a plate we're going to put on here in a minute, which then goes into your purple gems, which then goes into the finger poke of doom. We do have Santa Hogan. Again, this is the test account, so he's maxed out. All gems doing 18,000 more damage, and any color moves doing 30% more. And then Zombie Edge for black gems do 12,000 more damage. You could put one of the ones who does 40% in there, but if you do the math on his black gems, maxed at 6-star, 23,404 times 40% is just over 9,000. So even if you're running Santa Hogan here or Edge where they have the 12K, that's going to be superior to the 40K at this level. So let's see him on the road. Actually, real quick, we're going to look at the belt. So this is the preview belt, so it's 130% gem damage, yes, the whale build, plus double fury 2, plus 35% more all gem damage. We're going to throw the ultimate plate, I pity the fool, on there. Whenever you break 4 or more red gems, you generate 10 more black gems at the end of your turn, since we're buffing black gem damage. You could use the Ghostbuster plate right here, Head of the Seance. Whenever you break 8 red gems, generate 30 random red gems if you wanted to buff the red gems instead, but we're taking advantage of that updated finisher move. So we're also going to use the Last Known Survivor. This one probably wouldn't be needed, but you are making those black gems, so just in case your red move doesn't reload, that's going to buff that out. If not, if you want to continue to just go all in with black gems, you could do the Viper Strike, which is break black, turn yellow into red, or the DX Army Assault, break purple, turn green into black, or I don't know why you would use this one, but you could use purple, turning red into yellow for Hulkamania. And you could also, of course, use the Eye of the Tiger plate for that reverse, but you're not going to have trouble reloading the black. So now let's see him out on the road against Technician AJ Styles. All right. We are against a 6-star, so he has 14 million damage. That is going to melt. Don't worry about it. So your first move right here, the low blow, that's the one that makes red, and the pin bar will not move. This will also trigger your plate, your ultimate plate, at the end of the cycle there. So let's just make some red. Let that all cascade. Now we should need 2 for the finger poke of doom. So you just want 1 match. And then you're going to just put these where you're not going to cause any cascades, but you are going to get more damage than what you would get from the other colors. So we've got that. Now your finger poke of doom is loaded. Now notice this. It does say that first it will swap the 3x3 random area into wildcard gems, and then if technician, it will deal additional damage and make a 5x4 random area into black. Please note that this is working in reverse as I'm testing it. It might be fixed later. It shouldn't impact the damage that much, but at least you kind of know if it happens, that's what happens. See right there, the black first. Then it's going to do the plates. So there's more black gems. Then it's going to drop the wild card gems afterwards. So that was 8.3 million damage from all of that carnage. Let's run it one more time. Let me just show you this again just to make sure that wasn't a fluke, that they're going off in the wrong order, that the plates are going off the way they are. We'll go back in here and see what we can do. There's Hogan again. All right, so same thing. You're going to make your red gems. If you can, go ahead and get a purple match or a black match, like right here. That's going to match black. You can, of course, do the trick where you have Hogan hit pretty much unlimited damage. Yeah, just do that right there. Boop, because then his move is loaded again. Now you could just keep going because it reloads the pin bar. Now, this is why the plates say that they load at the end of your turn if you trigger them. Because otherwise, you could literally run this where it keeps making red. It would flood the board with black, and you just keep going from there. But now your finisher's already loaded, so you don't need these moves. You just go straight back into it. It's going to drop the black gems, I bet. Yup, big old random area of black. Then your plate. Yep. Twice. And now the wildcard gems. Boom. 9 million, almost 10 million damage right there. All right, so that's the most obvious build out for his new move. Let me see if I can figure anything else out with this to have a little fun. All right, we're going to do an even more premium build here. We're going to put the Hauntamaniac. That's Ghostbuster Hogan's plate. Whenever you break 7 or more red gems, generate 10 random purple gems at the end of your turn. And then whenever you break 7 purple gems, generate 10 random red gems at the end of your turn. With those wildcard gems, everything else playing, that should go off without a flaw. And then we're going to put the drip plate. I know it's just one black move that we're running right now. We certainly could put the second black move in just to see what happens, but just add some additional flavor. All right, here's why I'm not putting that additional black move in there yet. We might do one last one just to kind of see what the drip does with it, but because this move wouldn't be there, you wouldn't have your finisher loaded, although in making your red gems, if you can do some strategic row breaks, like say right there, you could get all that you need. Well, see, that's even not going to quite hit it. Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, see, not quite enough to get it, but you've got your drip out there. So now you're going to want to make one purple match, as you did before, avoiding any cascades that would hit the drip. And then if you want to make some... not that one because we don't want to break. Not that one because we don't want to break. If you want to make some additional ones for the drip right here, you can to be able to hit. Yeah, let's just do that. All right, now we're going to see the power of the plates go off because we should have had no issue with the Hauntamaniac going off, and you already see the drip out there. So let's see what damage this does. There goes the Hauntamaniac Part 1. There goes the Hauntamaniac Part 2. There goes your wild card. And that drained his health completely. Completely. Wow. So that was a 14, 15 million plus easy turn one. Let's see if there's anything else we can do with this. All right, one more plate combination here we're going to see. This time we're doing the Dead Man's Sigil, which is available on the plate picker wall there. Whenever you break 3 or more black, you turn 6 into X break. Now that one's immediate, not at the end of your turn. So that's going to blow up more of the board. And then just to see it, we're going to put the Head of the Seance. Whenever you break 8 or more red gems, generate 30 random red gems at the end of your turn. If you were to put the ultimate plate, the I Pity the Fool, back on there, that would probably be more in reach for most people. But we're on the main account, so we're doing some whale builds here first. So let's take a look at this plate combination, same moves. All right, you know the drill by now. We're going to go ahead and make these. Now, you want to make sure you make enough red that the Hauntamaniac or whichever one, Ghost Stopper that we put out there gets to go. So we've got that right there. It's going to cascade, but that's good because we don't move the pin bar. So that was I think it was $1 million. It might have been 170, but it should have been $1 million right there. Then, of course, you could use your 6 into purple, but we're going to go straight back into the Finger Poke of Doom. Once again, it's dropping the blacks first, but that's okay because then it's going to hit those X breaks. Then it's going to trigger the 30 red gems for the plate, loading pretty much all of your moves. There, it's going off again. All right, look at that. 16 million, and then he hit the wild card gems. So, man, that was impressive. That was impressive. Let's see it if we had kind of more free-to-play plates, and then we'll call this moveset good and take a look at him on my account, perhaps. All right, last plate combination for this moveset here. I think these are probably the most accessible to the most amount of the player base. The Dead Man Sigil, again, available on the prize picker wall. And then the I Pity the Fool has been available a couple of times where it was moderately within reach. So let's take a look if he has this specific plate set, what he can do. One more time against AJ on the road. We're going to make these red gems. You know the drill. Let's see if we can load our purple or black. Nah, but we want to make sure that we get as many of the red as possible. There we go. That'll trigger our plate, and it triggered that plate as well. Then once more, we just need a purple match that is less likely to cascade. Don't hit any of those X-Break gems. You can put these out for additional damage since purple is his primary color. Just make sure you don't trigger anything cascade-wise. And one more time with the Finger Poke of Doom. Bam. Yep. Oh, we hit most all of that. There you go. That's 7 million damage. Plus an additional 4. So 12, 13 million damage just from that. That's fairly within reach of everyone right there. So good change on the moveset. If you want to see it running on my account, let me just show you what that would look like so that you can kind of see what the difference would be. All right, we're checking out Hogan now on my account, and as you can see, mine is 5 gold, not 6 silver. Same moveset as before, but I also don't have the same entourage abilities. So I'm starting with red moves loaded, double black coach and trainer for 12k, and then my Santa Hogan is only 2200 more damage. So you're going to see him hit significantly lighter. I also have an affiliation strap on him that is completely locked up, so I can't even add some medals at this point. So you can get a good sense of what he can hit just raw damage at a very base level, and then you kind of saw his top end where he can easily hit in that 12, 13, 14 plus million range, which I think puts him back in the conversation for some. Especially you've got some of those plates, you've got things going with that. Yeah, I think he's got some pretty good builds. One key build, but pretty good for his new move, I should say. All right, let's do a 7 match here. Didn't cascade. All right, so here we get to see just raw damage, 5-star against 5-star, and kind of see what it does from there. So the Finger Poke. Oh, now this is dropping the wild cards first, and of course I'm fighting Scott Hall, so I gotta undo this because this is not a technician. I thought I was facing Diamond Dallas Page. Dang it, dang it, dang it. All right, well. Okay, now that I've fast forwarded a little bit here, I thought I was starting with DDP on this match, and obviously was not. I was starting with Scott Hall, but you're going to get the idea here anyway because he's fresh. I have not hit him yet, so we're just going to fill up our purple move, which we could have done turn 1 anyway just by doing a match like that. You don't want to cascade. You're good to go. And now we just see what this is doing. You know what? Mine hasn't updated yet. That's the problem. So I'm going to have to redo. No, never mind. Never mind. He's still hit. He's still hit. All right. So he did the damage there. Yeah, about 2 to 3 million, 2 million total. But that's at a 5-star gold. So that is not terrible at all. All right, let's go into Rusty and I's conversation about this big change with Hulkamania Remastered.
Oh man, that's pretty exciting to see somebody who from in the wrestling world, like Hollywood Hogan, really come to life as a top tier superstar. Dare I say it? Would you consider Hollywood Hogan S tier now with this new build, or what thoughts on him?
Well, yeah, I don't know that he's going to be top tier for most still, but he is a lot better. Two specific ways that this really hits is one, of course, damage, right? You do a 5x4 area into black gems. So that's just pure additional damage that he didn't have before. Plus, the second big thing is that primary tricolor move set, it reloads it flawlessly then, because then you can go from black to red, red to purple, purple to black. Boom, which I've been thinking about a lot lately. I think there needs to be more tricolor builds. In fact, even dual color builds, because
Yeah.
most of the current characters are built around either like triple one color or triple the other color. This
Right.
brings some variety back in. I like that.
Especially some of those newer trainers that can do dual MP boosting.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of possibilities maybe coming. Hey, so the updated finisher, we just got to see it in action. Um, Significant upgrade. I mean, is that would you say like now
Yeah.
he's a viable, usable
Yeah.
superstar? More than I mean, basically, this is what the community I think is going to be asking. Has he become more than just a coach? Is he
There
now
it is.
a playable, fightable, usable, different formats? Thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the big trick, which they're kind of doing on a lot of the characters now, is it's very specifically against technicians. So
Mhm.
when you're facing a technician, that's when you get the extra bump on your hardcore move, which is your finisher.
Right.
But yeah, I think anytime you're breaking a large portion of the board with a specific color of gem that you can predict, like the wild card gems, nobody still knows how to figure out what bumps them the right way and stuff. Like we've heard a few theories, we've had people try to figure it out, but even other content creators, the wildcard gems just get, as they should be, unpredictable. So making an entire area of the board and a chunk of it into a specific color now allows you to buff with your zombie edge, with your Nakamura, and guarantee that you're going to hit a higher level of damage than you would have. And then you just kind of consider the wildcard gems icing on the cake. Plus,
Right.
there's a few plates. I think if you want to have the top tier conversation, I
Yeah.
think the plates is really where that's going to make a difference for him.
Yeah, and we saw some gameplay with you with plates. We saw some gameplay of you with some of the best trainers, coaches, entourage available. Let me ask you this. What if you have a roster, let's say 3 to 4 million, maybe 5 million tier roster, and
Mm,
you're asking yourself, okay, I don't have the newest, best trainers, entourage coach, and yet I have Hollywood on my roster. Is he worth like now? Can I build them up? Are there alternate builds? Or there? What do you think?
right. Well, okay, so if you have a 3 to 5 million roster, first of all, in there, I think in the trickster space, if you were able to get Zombie Gunther, if you've got some of those guys, like even Mosh and some of the newer
Yeah.
free players, really even maybe Kama, those are
Mhm.
probably still going to be go-tos for fighters. However, this really revitalizes him in that class, and again, especially if you're facing tricksters. So I still think his best use for most cases or most players' rosters is going to be as a coach. And so you need to get him to 6-star just for that coaching ability. It is one of the more important ones in the game. I say having him still only at 5-star gold, but I know it is. And then really from there, in that situational where you're facing up against technicians, he might be the right go-to. He really, really might now because that tricolor build is just gonna hit for a good amount of damage. and the trainers are pretty easy. Now on the main Twitch account, the one that's like all tricked out, I used Tori and I used Carmelo, and so those were big builds. But even with the coaches, I still used Santa Hogan and I still used Zombie Edge to get that black gem damage. So even a basic trainer setup like I show on what I'm using my account will still hit pretty hard. And then you add in some of those plates, like the Hauntamaniac clearly did amazing. The drip plate clearly did amazing, even only with the one black move. But those are really top end plates.
Sure.
So
Sure. Well, how about this? Like, I don't have Hollywood Hogan. I've been going after him for a while in the Showdown shop. How should I be prioritizing those shards? I mean, there's other I get TP from the Showdown shop pretty regularly. I've started
right,
getting coins and stuff lately, star fills.
right,
How do I know, I guess, the value? How do I assess the value of this we're calling remastered Hollywood Hogan?
right. From the shop, at least, I would say you have one of two choices that should be your top priority. Mutant Doink. There I go again with the balloons. Mutant Doink, because he's a finisher trainer, and we're going back into the era of move damage. Predicted in the 6-star gold meta that move damage will be the hot thing again. We'll see. We don't know in advance. Or Hollywood. And I think most would argue Hollywood is more important because in your showdown, in your feud, maybe even depending on how the boss works in your boss battle, getting that 2 extra per match really is going to make a difference. I know there's been content creator videos out where they've shown how if you need to match like 7 gems, let's say it's whatever specific color, you put Hollywood and X-Pac or Andre on there, and you can bridge the gap from 0 or 1 in this case to 7 with one match, and then you're ready to go versus multiple turns. So it makes a lot of other characters more viable. So just from that side of things, I would say Hollywood's probably your number 1 from the Showdown shop, Mutant Doink number 2.
Well, final question for you on this segment is do you have a favorite NWO or Hollywood Hogan moment from the actual world of professional wrestling?
Oh, yeah, actually, mine was the fact that I had left wrestling as a fan. I was a fan in the 80s, and then I had left wrestling. And when I was starting to think about coming back, there was, of all things, we were watching a Muppets movie with my friends at a buddy's house, and Hollywood Hogan shows up, right? And he does that thing where he like punches the Muppet and goes, "I'm a bad guy now." And I literally, my childhood was ruined in that moment. I'm this
That was
young
the
teenager
reveal for
going,
you. That was the
"How dare
reveal.
you?"
So you didn't
Yeah,
know.
I didn't
Wow.
know. I didn't see Bash at the beach. I didn't, by the time I came back in, Hogan was already on a collision course with Goldberg. And I did get to see him kind of 1A, 1B. I did get to go to a taping of Thunder in Casper, Wyoming,
Oh,
where I
that's
was growing
so
up,
cool.
and did get to see him live. And that was the one time in my life, I think, that I can remember at least that I got to see him battle live.
Yeah, I saw Hogan live it was called like a Tuesday in Texas. It was a televised night at the Summit in Houston.
Ooh,
Hey, so
nice.
so I think my favorite Hollywood Hogan moment is probably the one that everyone's thinking of, like the bash at the beach. Who is the third man? And like he
Right?
comes out, and the ring announcer at the time was so offended. I think he even said, "Screw you, Hulk Hogan," because
Right?
like Hulk Hogan said something like, "All my Hulkamaniacs can stuff it," or something like that.
Yeah.
Like shocking. It was
Yeah.
so shocking to see.
Right.
And he still had on the red leggings, and so it's like you hadn't seen the black beard yet. You hadn't seen like
Right.
spray paint the belt and all that stuff that became so
Right.
iconic. But that was probably the biggest heel turn in the history of wrestling, and I don't know that it can ever be topped. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's no one that
I
has
agree.
at least a decade of being the guy, the baby face.
Right.
And then you just didn't even think it could happen.
Right.
So yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
agreed.
A lot of nostalgia. That's really
Especially
funny.
in that era, because there was, I mean, the face heel turns didn't happen as often.
Right.
For one, you didn't see characters as often, and there was no
Yeah.
internet, so there was no behind the scenes speculation
Yeah.
that, oh, this is going to happen. Like it just hit out of the blue. Whereas now,
Right.
even with some of the more recent returns, we talked about them on our podcast before they happened because there was chatter about that. This was, if you didn't like, I don't know how you would have known. This was out of the blue and just blindsided
You
people.
wouldn't have known. You would. I think it's
Yeah.
funny that your reveal was on the Muppet movie.
Was on the Muppets. Yeah. Whoops.
What? No!
How dare he? Oh my
Well, take us out, Lee.
goodness. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this preview review of an updated and remastered Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I think he's a viable
Brother.
candidate for your technician killer team. And it's a great day to smash gems together. Have a happy holidays, and we will see you next time. Bye.